Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show. Real talk, big opinions, and fearless conversations. From the front lines of politics to the latest in pop culture. From breaking sports headlines to the stories that move the world. Nothing's off limits, and nobody's holding back. Arrington Gavin is here to break it down, build it up, and keep it all the way real. So turn it up, lean in, and let's get into it. This is the Arrington Gavin Show.
Hey, what's happening, ladies and gents? Welcome to another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show. This is episode 550. That's right, 550. And welcome to your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day, whether it's politics, sports, pop culture, or the latest buzz. Look, we're diving deep and keeping it real. So do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. On today's conversation, we got a lot to tap in. We have mostly political, but we're going to throw in some pop culture news. I don't know if y'all heard about the recent public fight between icons Usher, Raymond, and Justin Bieber. Two folks you would never think to be hearing that they had a fight. What are you talking about? Because let's remember, Usher was sort of the mentor role, helped found Justin Bieber and really guided him into the pathway of the success Bieber has now. So we're, and we've known that Bieber as being a pop star. I mean, it doesn't come easy, right? You have some walls, you get in trouble, you have some controversy, this and that and the other. But when I heard about this, I'm like, wow, this is, I hope, they would, make up and this will go away soon, because you hate to hear about just anyone that had a strong, or a great relationship, and now is an enemy. So we're going to talk a little bit about that later on today. Also, the president celebrates another death. Okay, he literally publicly comes out. I mean, it's the most inhumane thing you could possibly say. So former FBI director Robert Mueller recently passed away at the age of 81, and President Trump, and I quote, said, hold up, let me find it here for you, because we're going to talk more about it. He said on his Truth Social, Robert Mueller just died. Good. I'm glad he's dead. He can no longer hurt innocent people. President Donald J. Trump. That was a quote from your sitting president. I said it. The man who's running the country. Republicans. How do you feel? Like, what's your take on that? All you Trump supporters out there, what's your response? We're going to talk about it later on in the show. Also, the current FBI director, Kash Patel, seen signing autographs at a training site, FBI training site. Yeah. Why is he? I guess he has other things that he could care less about. He worries more about signing autographs because it's all about him, and not him doing his actual job. But it's so much more we can discuss here, y'all. As always, thank you so much for taking the time out your busy schedule and tune into the show. I hope y'all enjoyed our last conversation where we welcomed Adam Dunnigan, who is the Democratic candidate running. He's in the still primary season for him, but he's a Democratic candidate running for Virginia's 8th congressional district. Marine veteran, former CIA officer. Had a great conversation with him, so I hope y'all enjoyed. If you haven't, you can find it on our YouTube channel. It's up there on demand, or you can listen on the go wherever you get your podcasts. As you know, look, we're on multiple platforms, y'all. Multiple platforms. We drop new episodes of the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as I mentioned, on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. That was iHeart, Spotify, Apple, just to name a few. You can also listen to the show on one of our radio affiliates. Shout out to KSHP 1400 AM and 107.1 FM Las Vegas, where you can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show Fridays at 8 p.m. Pacific time. And again, that's only on KSHP 1400 AM, 107.1 FM, Las Vegas. Then we're going to head over to the Metro Atlanta area to WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk. You can tune into the show weeknights at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we're going to head over to the New Orleans area, Who Dat Nation, to WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about. You can tune into the Arrington Gavin show weeknights at 7 p.m. Central Time. Again, that's only on WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about. All righty, friends. Look, so much to tap into. I hope you all are having a wonderful evening. I'm starving right now. I'm hungry. I really eat too much. But anyway. Yeah, I hope you all are having a wonderful day. So much, as I mentioned earlier, to tap into. Before we head to a commercial break, look, let's get it going with, I always love hearing about new studies that appear like 24/7, right? Whether if it's studies on, hey, the average American does this, or the average female does that, or the average male. I love my studies. So this new one came up stating that it now costs an average of $331,933 to raise a child to the age of 18 in the United States, excluding college. Did you hear that number? Let me actually pull up a graphic for those who are watching. It is, and you wonder why the number goes down of young people becoming parents or even considering marriage, right? Because it's too damn expensive. Now look, my wife and I, we get, I won't even say pressure. To me, it's like slightly pressure by, by family and friends. Like, hey man, it's time for y'all to have some children. And look, one thing, my wife and I, we're always going to be on one accord. And I'm like, we always say, hey, look, you can never predict the future. But right now, we're focused with our careers. We want to be smart financially, because is this the right? Because a lot of my friends always say, you never know, there is no right time. There's never really right time. No, I think there is there's a right time to certain things. And I personally do not want to, and I know my wife could agree with me on this one. We do not want to pursue something if we know we are not prepared, right? And I feel like we all could agree on that. So let me read you this here. Again, just to remind you, the exact cost they're averaging is $331,933 to raise a child to the age of 18 in the United States, excluding college. And says here, housing, childcare, food, healthcare, education are the primary drivers behind the increase. So obviously, you add another person into your household, water bill goes up, electricity bill goes up, food bill goes up because you have to expand on the meals. If you and your spouse are workers 24/7 and can't be, home for the most part, you have to provide what? Childcare. Now, it always helps to have a village, meaning it always helps to have, those close family, friends, or family that's nearby to help provide childcare, that's willing to do it pro bono. Also education, right? Schools is everything. I was a private school kid, so I know how hard my parents had to sacrifice to put me through private school. I went to a private school university, right? More money. And private school now on a elementary, I guess what they call it, like primary, elementary, middle, and high school, it's crazy expensive. One of the local private schools in my home area, I think, is close to $20,000 a year. I mean, come on, only for the rich. But there's folks that are not of wealthy status that still pursue because they know the outcome. They want to invest in the right education, or not even right education, but good education and a good outcome for their child. It says here, inflation and higher living costs have pushed families' expenses to new levels, making long-term financial planning more critical than ever. Childcare alone can account for a substantial portion of household income, especially in the early years. These rising costs are reshaping family planning decisions across the country as more households weigh in the long-term financial commitment of raising children in today's economy environment. And I'll be honest, y'all, the economy sucks right now. I've shared, electricity bill is going up, gas prices is continuing to, they're not getting any cheaper whatsoever. Grocery prices are extremely high. It's a reason you have a new generation, right? I think the Gen Z, or just a new generation of folks, are not pursuing having kids. Hell, they're not even pursuing getting married, right? I mean, there's so many interesting things when it comes to relationships and what's going on in the U.S. Another convo I want to chop it up with you all. Well, you know what? Actually, we're gonna head to a commercial break, and then we'll come out and talk about this. But I just had to put that out there because, I mean, what's your take? What's your take? And this question is really directed to the young couples, young long-term couples, whether you're married or not. Have y'all had the conversation about children? Are you wanting to have children, but you are hesitant because of hearing about the cost, right? Please leave us a comment. If you're watching this video, you can also email me by visiting our website, www.theagshow.com, theagshow.com. For those who are watching us right now, you can see the QR code in the top corner. If you just hover over that QR code, it will lead you to our website where you can stay connected with us. But I mean, this is a thing I hear commonly all the time. And it's not an easy decision. It's not an easy decision, especially in this current climate. And I understand, and I don't blame people for saying, hey, look, we are, and by the way, the source was the U.S. Department of Agriculture. So this is legit. This is legit. But it's very, I mean, what can you say? What can you say on that case, y'all? Look, my friends, we're going to head to a commercial break. You're listening to the Arrington Gavin Show. Do not go anywhere and do not change that dial. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks.
What's up, y'all? Welcome.
And we still in traffic.
I don't look familiar, do I? Not in this seat.
Hey, what's that you listening to?
Here to host today.
Hey, turn it up.
With me?
Yeah, this that new Gold Verse app. I got you.
So y'all want to know where the goats are? They're off on the sidelines.
Looking for fresh, relevant content wherever you go?
What was the name of that he said?
Introducing GoatVerse TV.
GoatVerse, that's what it's called.
The free streaming app that brings you the best podcasts, current events, and thought-provoking opinions all in one place. Download it now from the Apple Store or Play Store. In Goats, we trust.
Order your beard care products with Rugged Evolution. We're your local beard care line that supports the maintenance of your full, mature beard. Our line includes conditioning shampoos, moisturizers, balms, oils, shaving lotions, and exfoliating soaps. These products moisturize, hydrate, nourish, and have all the natural ingredients for a healty beard. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. And remember,
Rugged is the new smooth.
Let me tell you something most people get wrong about suits. A suit isn't just about you wearing it. It's how you show the world who you are. It's your handshake before you say a word, your presence when you step into any room. That's why we design statements at Dapper Luke. We don't just make suits. We'll start with the fabrics that tell your story, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blend sourced from the finest mills, in Italy, the UK, and India. Then we'll combine that with your vision, your personality, and your style. Every detail is tailored to you, from the fit to the finish. Whether for your wedding, a gala, the boardroom, we specialize in creating custom suits that are unique, just like the men who wear them. We spent years perfecting this craft, apprenticing under designers in New York and showcasing collections in New York and for Baltimore Fashion Week. None of that matters as much as seeing the look on your face when you try on your custom suit. Over 900 clients have already trusted us to deliver the best custom suits. They trust me to deliver the confidence. We proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore and would be honored to bring your vision to life next. Let's create something unforgettable. Book your free consultation today at www.dapperluke.com.
All right, friends, welcome back to the show. Before we move forward to some of our discussions that I shared earlier in the intro, another interesting thing that came up that I wanted to share. So I've already mentioned about cost of raising a child increasing. Here's a new debate happening right now. Now, this is reported by the Atlantic Black Star. So it says here, separate homes, same marriages, modern women embrace living apart together while tradition pushes back. Now, there's starting to be an increase of folks that have that are supporters of, yes, we're married, but we live in separate homes, maybe even live in separate states. Okay. Cheryl Lee Ralph, Emmy-winning actress, star of Abbott Elementary, one of the co-stars on the Abbott Elementary, original Dream Girl, the list goes on and on. She and her husband, and I'm blanking on his name, and I apologize, but he is a state senator out of Pennsylvania. They've been married for years. Beautiful couple. And she lives in she lives in California. He lives in Philadelphia. All right. They love each other very much. And it works for them. They live in separate households. Cheryl Underwood, comedian, former co-host of The Talk, actress. She was recently a guest host on The View, sitting in the conservative seat, and she had shared that, I would love to find love. I want to find love so bad. I do. But I would like to do it in separate homes. Like, he has his house, I have mine, right? I would keep it, like that, because I'm so used to living on my own now, and I don't want to give up on that freedom. But the fact that there is somebody that is there for me, that's perfectly fine. It can work. Keke Palmer, I remember mentioning it. Even I think Nia Long, I don't know if Nia Long is currently seeing anybody. I know it was sad, but she went through that public divorce with Iman Udoka, who is NBA coach. At the time, he was the coach for the Boston Celtics. I'm blanking on which team he coaches right now. I think it's Houston. But I don't see this being bad at all. The question the Atlantic Black Star gives to the public is this freedom and a healthy space, or is it missing the point of a marriage? Now, to my knowledge, marriage never really focuses on living in the same house. Okay. That I don't, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't ever, you're with me through richer and poor, sickness and health, through death do us part. Okay. Now, I'll share a little this, because I trust y'all. I consider y'all friends, fam. Sometimes my lovely wife and I, we sleep in separate rooms. Whoa, Arrington, what are you trying to say? Hold up. Let me explain. When it's the weekends, right? Whether if it's Friday, Saturday, and because we work hard. We work, very, very hard, and we never have the time to just chillax. So obviously we'll have time where we embrace each other. Whether if it's watching a movie, whether if it's talk. I mean, we talk every day regardless. But when it's like that time for us to have our time, because you have your man cave and you have your lady lair. So what we do most of the time, I'll take the guest room because I like to stay up. I'm staying up either typing, doing some work on my computer, or I'm staying up watching pro wrestling. I'm talking like Attitude Era pro wrestling, 90s, early 2000s, mid 2000s. Or I'll be up watching a movie. I'm a late night. I'm a night owl. My wife is that person with 9:30, 10 o'clock. She's like, oh, I'm sleepy, I'm tired. And look, we both like to watch different things, whether if it's movies, TV shows, and any other. Now we do watch a number of programs together, right? We have our time to together and love on one another and all that great stuff. But we also enjoy to say, okay, look, my wife loves Twilight. I hate Twilight. Okay, I don't want to watch. I've watched it with her before. She loves, Twilight. I'm just using that for example. So when it's times that she wants to watch all of them, well, but guess what? I'm gonna go in the other room and I'm gonna chill and stay up, and then look, I might fall asleep, and then boom, wake. That's fine. So that technically, it's not in comparison to being in two separate houses. But I'm just saying we will sleep, like I said, here and there in two separate rooms, and it's fine. It's perfectly fine. I know for sure that there are relationships. There's older people in their 80s, 90s that might be dating or not even dating, but have a boyfriend and girlfriend, and they live in separate houses, and they don't want to pursue living in one. Why do that? Y'all, I really don't disagree with this argument. I think this is great. I think it's healthy. I think at the end of the day, they know who they want to be with for the rest of their life. They know that when they're out and about, they are a taken person. They're not going out, excuse me, hey, I'm single, I'm ready to mingle. No, I'm with somebody, and we have separate homes. To me, I think it's very smart financially too. Just want to point that out there, because now within that marriage, you have multiple investment properties. I'm just saying, y'all need to think of the big picture. Stop saying, well, traditional, that's not right. No. To me, I look at this as a way of making marriages more healthy. Because let's be honest, when you focus so much on tradition, sometimes that tradition can break a marriage. It can. Sometimes tradition can break a marriage. Look, and I don't always agree with everything, but look, you have folks that live in separate homes, and they are still very much in love, and it's worked for them. You have people that lived in separate states, they make it work. Hell, Shirley Ralph and her husband live in separate coasts, and they still make it happen. They still make it work. Okay, we live in a world where we have spouses that serve in our military. They're gone 6 months, 3 months out of the year. They live, but guess what? Still make it work. So at the end of the day, it's up to your heart. It's your prerogative. But I am I'm not against it. I'm not against it. I think if I'll have to ask my wife to get her take on it if she would want to stay be in separate houses or anything like that. If we had to rewind, because obviously we live in one house, and but I think it's interesting. I think it's very, very interesting. Anyways, let me go ahead and move out. I was looking at thought I saw something on my come across my feed here. Let's see here. Which we're gonna start with first. Let's talk some politics. I've mentioned top Aide to Tulsi Gabbard resign. We all heard this on the national news circuit. This gentleman's name is Joe Kent. Joe Kent is his name. Aide to Tulsi Gabbard, who is the director of national intelligence, and it was shared that, let me put up this graphic here so you guys can, there we go. It was shared that Top aide Joe Kent resigned recently in protest of the Trump administration's war in Iran, becoming the first major Trump administration official to resign over the conflict. Now, Kent, who is the director of National Counterterrorism Center, posted on his X platform that he was resigning effective immediately, while urging President Trump to reverse court in the multi-week military operation. Quote from Kent says that I cannot in good conscience support the ongoing war in Iran. Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation, and it is clear that we started this war due to the pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby. Kent also shared a letter addressed to Trump stating that while he supports the values and the foreign policies that you campaigned on in 2016 and 2020 and 2024, he disagrees with the president's decision to launch the Iran operations. He then went on to add, I pray that you will reflect upon what we are doing in Iran and who we are doing it for. The time for bold action is now. You can reverse course and chart a new path for our nation, or you can allow us to slip further toward decline and chaos. You hold the cards. Listen, one thing we've noticed here is just a huge split in the MAGA party on this specific issue. First of all, there's so many issues to really split. You still got the Epstein list that split, that has MAGA in disagreements amongst each other. You have this as well. I'm surprised I haven't really heard anything from Tulsi Gabbard. And Tulsi Gabbard was one of the ones that on the campaign trail was very anti-war. She was. There's, you can, I don't have to replay the clips because there's plenty of them out there. She was anti-war. She continued to say, "Oh, this is why we need to lean to him because he's the real deal. He's anti-war. It won't be a war under his watch and this and the other." I'm like, okay, all right, you watch. Is the reason why I say that is because y'all, this is not Trump's rodeo. It's not. Like, why are folks shocked? Why are folks shocked? Why are folks so surprised of what goes on in this administration? He says it's raining when it's really sunny outside. Okay, he gonna say this and that, and like he's gonna continue to say things and do whatever the hell he wants to do, and he's gonna do the opposite. I mean, you see Joe Rogan saying, "I feel mistreated. I feel lied to, and this and that." Now you feel lied to, Joe? I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting, y'all. The White House has rejected what it called many false claims put forward by Ken, including fearlessly denying his claims that Iran posed no imminent threat to the U.S. Trump told reporters, "I always thought he was a nice guy, but I always thought he was weak on security, very weak. So why the hell would you allow him to be working for you?" Like, well, like if you thought that all that time, I think he's pretty weak. He's pretty weak on security. He also told reporters, "When I read his statement, I realized it's a good thing that he's out because he said Iran is not a threat. Every country realized that a threat Iran was a threat. What a threat Iran was." Caroline Leavitt, White House press secretary, reiterated Trump's defense. Of course she did. Defense of his military action in a lengthy statement on X, saying he had strong and compelling evidence that Iran was going to attack the United States first. The evidence was compiled from many sources and factors. President Trump would never make the decision to deploy military assets against a foreign advisory in a vacuum, she also stated. She also dismissed Kent's comments alleging Israel influenced the Trump administration in pushing the strikes on Iran, calling it insulting and laughable. Okay. Kent, a former Green Beret and two-time GOP congressional hopeful, was confirmed as the president's principal counterterrorism advisor by Senate last summer in a 52-44 vote. He previously worked as a chief of staff to Tulsi Gabbard. He served in the Army for 2 decades and completed nearly a dozen combat deployments, receiving 6 Bronze Star medals. He later worked as a paramilitary officer for the CIA. And Trump is still saying he seems like he's weak on security. Interesting. Warner, Virginia U.S. Senator Mark Warner, senior U.S. Senator, he said, I didn't support Kent's nomination yet. I'm glad he is willing to acknowledge the truth. There was no imminent threat to the United States, and this war was a terrible idea. Again, he is a top Democrat on the Senate Intelligence Committee, said in response to Kent's resignation. Warner also added, even Trump's greatest MAGA advocates can see this war is stupid, costly, and deadly. When will Trump? That's the thing. He will never, Senator. He will never, because Trump will never admit a defeat. He would never admit he's wrong. He would never. He would never. Have we ever heard him ever say, we were wrong in that case, we were bad, we did bad? No. Every single speech he does, he says, me, I, me. It's all about him. He could care less about his staff. He don't even know nobody on his staff. Every time somebody resigns, I really didn't know the guy. I really didn't know the lady. I'm unaware. I'm not familiar with this, so I'm not going to comment on it. Like, he don't know nothing. He doesn't know. He just doesn't know. Nebraska Republican Representative Don Bacon, who has broken with the administration on various issues, but has praised the U.S.-Israel operation in Israel, sharply criticized the outgoing official. He said, good riddance. Okay. He said, Iran has murdered more than 1,000 Americans. Their EFP landmines were the delis in Iraq. Anti-Semitism is evil. I detest. And we surely don't want it in our government. Speaker Mike Johnson also pushed back on Kent's remarks about the Iran's operation and will as the role of Israel dismissed. Interesting. So, my friends, I guess my question that I will leave you is, will there be more folks like a Joe Kent to resign due to this war? Look, there's lives being lost in this war. There's effects happening on here in the States because of this. Will there be more more individuals resigning from this administration due to this war? As we digress from this, we're gonna move it on because there's more. I guess there's more criticism with this administration. That, I mean, there's a number of things I can always share that goes wrong with this administration, but I'm gonna find the image here. Kash Patel, FBI Director Kash Patel, the man that can see things from a mile away, man. I tell you, he sure can. Kash Patel is busted for signing pics of himself while there's just so many issues happening in the U.S. I guess I really can't say anything be more specific on why seeing me personally seeing any elected official, especially the FBI director, for crying out loud, signing autographs. Again, we're not in the climate to worry about y'all looking cute in front of the camera. We're not in the space right now in a period where it's about signing autographs and this me I crap. So Kash Patel's photograph signing pictures of himself at Quantico. Former podcaster shows off customized Nike sneakers at a training event for agents at a bureau in Virginia's academy led by MMA fighters. Patel himself has been photographed, as I mentioned before, at a signing autographs at a 2-day training event in Quantico. This is reported to by The Independent. The shot of beaming Patel posing a giving thumbs up while sporting a UFC baseball cap and perched at a table on which at least 2 signed publicity photos are visible was posted on LinkedIn recently by attendees. James Swan of the U.S. Air Force says here had the opportunity to meet and talk with Director of FBI, Mr. Kash Patel. He wrote on a social media post, he is a humble individual who speaks highly of his agents and the people around him, and I enjoy the conversation. Look, that's a good thing that he speaks highly about his staff, as he should, because it's it's not easy doing what they have to do. All I'm saying is they've already given him backlash in regards to him turning up with the U.S. hockey team, right? Showing him having a beer, had to fly over for one to the Winter Olympics where it was held using taxpayer dollars, and now he's seen signing some autographs where there's so many stories, so many things happening right now. You're like, what? Does he have the time to do this? Why is he not working doing it? Hey, we will never know. We will never know. Swan described Patel as a super cool dude, down to earth, and didn't rush away. The autograph shot was subsequently reposted by ProPublica journalist William Torton, who also noted in a thread that the director was wearing a pair of customized Nike trainers at the same time. Now, look, I can care less about the customized Nike trainers. The shoes featured as number 9, whatever. I think my thing is, and I've shared this regardless of what side of the aisle, because I don't care for I don't care for elected officials or those that have those important positions in this administration or any administration doing things that's more for personal gain. If I can be blunt, because I don't like it when current elected officials host their own, have their own radio shows and podcasts. I'm like, it's something that kind of just rubs me the wrong way, only because folks are hurting out here. They could care less about you hosting a show. Leave that to me. Okay, leave that to me. I don't know if you're not in office, like for example, Dan Bongino. Dan said, you know what, this ain't for me. I'm going back making my millions from my syndicated program, being a podcaster, my talk radio show. I'll do that. Look, and that's cool. But at the time, what did he do? He put his show on hiatus and he did his job. He was brought in to do a task, and that's what he did. And now he's no longer in it, so now he's doing what he got to do. But Kash Patel, look, I see elected officials at more sporting events, current elected officials at sporting events, like he got his UFC hat on because he's always at the UFC functions along with the president. They're supposed to be having the UFC fights over in at the White House, on the White House lawn. Okay. And now you see this man, you see him getting turned with the hockey team celebrating them, which, look, I get it. They represent the country. I get it. I really wasn't too against the whole Kash Patel is getting showered with beer with the with the team and all that stuff. But I just want you to realize, have that same and these are for folks that are Kash Patel supporters and supporters of this administration. If the tables are turned, what would you be saying? What would you be saying if you caught I don't know, Vice President Kamala Harris signing autographs, okay, or anybody, any elected official, appointed official, not elected official, an appointed official signing autographs in a climate where I don't think we have time to sign autographs. It's just me. That's just me. Let me go ahead. We're going to digress from this, and I'm going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we have some more here on the Arrington Gavin Show. My friends, do not go anywhere. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks.
Every man has a story to tell. Your ambitions, your achievements, your legacy. Your suit should reflect that.
Oh, hold on.
Let me tell you something.
Got a little technical difficulty there. We will not do a commercial on that. Let me see what's going on there. We're gonna just stick with us here, and then that's fine. Look, issues happen. We have these complications that happens on a regular basis, but look, I appreciate y'all sticking with us. Let me go ahead and move it on to our next story. I gotta acknowledge something here. President Trump has shown so much lack of humanity until it's not even funny. Recently, the former FBI director Robert Mueller passed away at the age of 81 years old. 81 years old. And see if I can, for those who are watching, put it. So if you don't remember Robert Mueller, let me kind of backtrack who he was. So again, I mentioned he was a former FBI director. He was the FBI director, I believe, from 2001 to 2013. And yes, he was appointed before the 9/11 attacks. He led the FBI through the post 9/11 era, focusing heavily on counterterrorism and intelligence reform. He was a special counsel in 2017 to 2019. He was appointed by the Justice Department to investigate Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election and potential links to the Trump campaign. I bring this up because, of course, Trump was not a fan of him because, well, Mueller was investigating Trump. he was investigating Trump. And let me show you this here. And again, I read the quote earlier, but I'll read it again. He said, "Robert Mueller just died. Good. I'm glad he's dead. He can no longer hurt innocent people. President Donald Trump." I mean, and remember, this is the guy that thought it was okay to criticize Rob Reiner, a man who lost his life, who was brutally murdered. Him and his wife were brutally murdered in their home. But because he disagreed with Trump's politics, Trump couldn't say anything nice about him. He couldn't say anything nice about him. And he made that publicly clear through them happy fingers of his. He just typed away. He typed away. I mean, it's extremely sad, y'all. It is so disheartening that we have leaders supposedly representing this country, representing this country, and look, other countries look and say, okay, if he's the leader, then that's how we can just describe that's how we can describe that country as a whole. If they elected him, this is what they like. This is what they want. This is what they see as a superior. Disgusting. So, look, he built up a reputation of integrity and independence, spent decades as a prosecutor, Marine officer, an FBI leader, many views as someone who follows the law and not politics. See, we don't have that anymore. We don't have folks that just follow the law. We have folks that follow politics over the law. He helped restructure the FBI into a more intelligence-driven agency during a critical national security moment. Supporters say his special counsel probe was detailed, professional, and uncovered real interference by Russia. Before 2017, Mueller was widely respected by both Democrats and Republicans. Democrats and Republicans. Now, Trump's allies criticize him because of the whole, quotation mark, the witch hunt is a witch hunt. I tell you, this is all a witch hunt. You hear him talking about witch hunt all the time. Trump, that is. Critics on the right argued that Russia investigation was politically motivated and unfairly targeted Donald Trump. No, politics is politics. To say is you're being unfairly unfair. No. It's reasons when you get investigated because they're like saying, okay, see some suspicious acts happening here. Let's investigate. Democrats also criticized Mueller in the past. Some on the left felt, that he was being too cautious, especially for not explicitly charging or being more aggressively accusing Trump of obstruction of justice. So Democrats looked at him as like being a little soft during the investigation process. So look, Mueller was criticized on the right, from the right and the left. He was criticized by both sides. Because why? He focused on law and not by, you got it, politics. His report did not definitively say Trump committed a crime, which frustrated both sides and fueled debate, which still fuels debate as we speak. Mueller's very quiet, logistic communication style left room for political spin from all directions. Bottom line, you rarely get figures who both sides claim and blame. Supporters look at him as a straight arrow lawman protecting democracy. Critics accuse him of a symbol of overreach and misaccountability. That being said, y'all, no, it's very sad that someone as petty as this individual we have in Washington right now is celebrating a man's death. I look, I don't know. I never knew Mueller from a can of paint. We probably either disagree or agree. I don't know what views or whatever. At the end of the day, he served. He did his job. You didn't like it. Okay, but the man passed away at 81. We haven't heard from him since the whole investigations and all that other stuff. But Trump is celebrating him. So I'll leave it right at that. I'll leave it right at that. Because I don't know what else to say. How do you respond? How do you respond to an individual that I don't know. I don't know how to say that, man. I really don't know how to respond to all of this. I don't know. I'm at a loss of words. Stay prayed up, right? I don't wish harm on my worst enemies. I really don't. You know, there was folks that called, you know, the Trump family, Trump, you know, Trump personally, when it was a first attempt on his life, right? Folks called, reached out. So we're sorry this happened. Are you okay? If there's anything we like, people were sincere because that's what you call humanity. We can agree to disagree, but at the end of the day, no one should praise anybody losing their life. I mean, this man celebrates this death, but he wants to continue to praise somebody that, again, agrees with him more. Like, for example, and you know, rest in peace, because it's extremely sad how his life was lost. But this is why folks always bring up Charlie Kirk as an example, because Charlie Kirk did not have to lose his life. Yes, I did not agree with 90-something% of the stuff that he said, but when Kirk was the messages that he used to say and his take on things, I personally don't think they should be praised and posted next to leaders like Martin Luther King. I don't. So he can be shared or he can be compared to someone like a MLK. But look, let me stop. Let me see here. We're gonna let me digress from this. Let me digress from this, y'all. I mean, what's your take? I guess the question I'll leave you all with is, what's your take on Trump's response hearing about Robert Mueller's death? Like, Republicans, y'all have to be exhausted. Y'all have to be exhausted of continuing to defend this man. You have to be. You have to be. Look, I've heard folks that says, yeah, he's an a-hole, but you know, he's one of the greatest presidents of all time. But he's like, what? Like, you can't. I'm sorry, that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me. If I hire somebody to do a job, I don't want them to be an a-hole in doing the job right, or doing the job half right, because me personally, I don't see any good coming out of this administration. But you know, hey, secure the borders, I give them credit on that one. I don't know, man. It's more to it. Let's see if we have these commercial working here. Let's try and take a quick commercial break. When we come back, you're listening to the Arrington Gavin Show. So let's try this again.
6'10", number 1 pick, 16 seasons, college player of the year.
Yeah, that is not good. That is not good, guys. Can we try and get that fixed for you? All right, my friends. Well, look, we're gonna pass it on to our final story. We're coming out of politics. We're gonna finish off talking some entertainment news here. So Justin Bieber and Usher, who I thought were like, you know, big brother, like brothers. Apparently, they got some beef happening right now, y'all. Did y'all hear about this? So TMZ reports that Justin Bieber and Usher got into it at a Oscars after party hosted by Beyonce and Jay-Z. It says here, we have heard people talking about the incident between Usher and Justin, and some saying that it ended up as a fist fight between the two. Now, I remember a picture or image posting on social media, and it looked very AI-ish. I'll be honest. I knew it couldn't have been real, but it when they showed, I'm like, no, that can't be. And anyway, sources connected to Justin Bieber tell TMZ Usher came up to Justin at a party with energy and anger, and the two got into a heated exchange. Our Bieber sources, this is again report from TMZ, says there was no physical contact, but it was intense. We have blown up the telephones of Usher's camp to see if they have a consistent story, but we have not heard back. They were told Justin's been trying to erase everyone in his past, and one source connected to Justin Bieber told us he has always been rude to Usher. Okay, I wonder why. Excuse me. Still, it's unclear what the argument was, what was about, though we're told it didn't drag on. There could be lots of celebs witness to the fight. Beyonce, Jay-Z were hosting, and guest list was insane. By the way, I'm insane as far as like people that was in attendance. You had Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, Michael B. Jordan, newly lead actor who Oscar winner, Michael B. Jordan, Ryan Coogler, Tiana Taylor, Timothy Chalamet, Kylie Jenner. I'm not gonna name all these people, but it was a lot of people. It was a lot of prominent people in this at this party. Says here last time we saw Justin and Usher out together was in 2022 in Idaho. I don't know what Coeur de Lake. I don't know how to, if I pronounced that right. But yeah, it says no cops were called at this incident. Obviously, it wasn't a physical incident, but they were having a few, some harsh words for each other. So I guess, the final question for you all is, why the tension? What do you think is the cause of this whole back and forth between Justin Bieber and Usher? Again, from the outside looking in, I would consider them being like brothers, and now they are oil and vinegar, even worse probably. So what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on this, y'all? Do me a favor. Check, you read up on this story. Let me know what you think. Hit us up by emailing us on our website and all that good stuff. Yeah, it's you have tension happening in the entertainment space. We see all the tension happening on the political space. But it's interesting. It all interests me, because I'm a person where, especially if I'm a public figure, which I'm obviously not, but I'm not going to act out of character with people I work with. Okay. But there's gonna be multiple sides of every story, because you can side with Justin Bieber, you can side with Usher, and then you have to side with the truth. So I don't know, y'all. We will see. Look, we hope you enjoyed your time tuning into the convo here on the Arrington Gavin show. Sorry about those technical difficulties. We're gonna get that checked out very soon. But until next time, my friends, as always, stay safe, stay informed. Stay informed. It's midterm season, so we got some big elections happening, and I will keep you posted for some more great convos, because we got some great interviews on tap for you coming soon, and more great conversation, because there's so much stuff that's happening out here in these streets. So I will talk to you soon. Peace and blessings. Stay safe, and I'll talk to you for another great conversation here on the Arrington Gavin show.
That's it for tonight on the Arrington Gavin Show. Thanks for tapping in and keeping the conversation alive. Don't forget, stay connected with us on all platforms. Follow at Arrington Gavin on Instagram, Blue Sky, and X, and subscribe to the official Substack for exclusive takes and deep dives you won't get anywhere else. We're here every weeknight, same time, same energy, same real talk. Until next time, stay bold, stay sharp, and stay true. That's what we do on the Arrington Gavin Show. Peace.